We've all seen those ads. Start investing in real estate today without any of your own money. It sounds like it could be too good to be true. Do you want to know the answer of how to do this without having to pay for the course? I'm about to show you right now. Yeah, when you see these ads about, start investing in real estate today without having your own money, a lot of times what they're going to ask you to do is to find a deal, all right? So this is kind of like wholesaling, all right? What is wholesaling? So wholesaling is basically you're finding sellers and you're finding buyers at the same time, but you're doing it without a real estate license, more or less, usually, right? You're just finding a deal out there. Who needs to sell their house? Like, do they have some bills to pay, or they just want to move and they just don't know what they're doing, or they just wanted to have a quick sale or something like that, right? A wholesaler finds that deal, all right? You don't need a real estate license to find deals like this, right? You do need a real estate license if you want to list it on the MLS, right? If you want to represent a buyer or something, you do need your license on that. But if you're just finding the deals, you're wholesaling, all right? And they call it wholesaling because you're kind of cutting out the retail person in this, and that would be like a real estate agent, right? You don't have to pay commissions now. It's just spreads on profit that you're making, or margins, right? So how do wholesalers find deals? I mean, they make a bunch of phone calls. I mean, I get them all the time, and I'm sure if you own a property, you get these calls too, where they're like, hey, we want to buy your house. Would you consider an offer from us? Those are wholesalers, all right? So they do a lot of cold calling. They go door knocking. They'll look at obituaries to find, recent deaths. I mean, that's a probate sales, things like that. Or, finding divorce deals or something like that. Like, they're just basically calling and contacting anybody they know, or even if they don't know, to find a good deal where someone needs to sell, possibly below market value, and they need the money quickly, right? That's the key right there. And then basically, once you get that number, you can figure out what maybe actual market value is for it, or after renovation value is. So like, let's say somebody has a house and they know that it needs a lot of work, and they're like, I don't have the money to do the work. I just want to dump it off real quickly. And that's a wholesale opportunity, right? But when you don't have your own money to do the actual purchase and sell, you can find hard money lenders or other investors with the capital that is willing to do the deal for you, right? So they will buy it at that price, and they will sell it to that other buyer and making the difference right there. What happens is your cut, or being the deal finder, more or less, that's what you make, all right? But the investor or the hard money lender is going to want to make a return on their money that they've used as well too. So just know that when you invest without your own money, that piece of the pie that you get will be much smaller than if it was your own money, all right? So there's nothing wrong with that, because it's a great way to get started, right? What if you go find a couple deals, you make the spread as the deal finder, right? And then you save the money that you make. Now you have some capital to work with on your own. Now you do have your own money now to invest. And the deals you find and put together, you're going to make more piece of the pie this time, right? You don't need to borrow it from somebody else or do things like that. So the question you may have is, well, why wouldn't this guy just go do his own deal? Why do they need me to find the deal, right? Why, if you have all this money, why don't you just go find your own deals and do your own deals, right? Well, the thing is, finding deals takes a lot of time and effort, and it's hard to sift through everybody. You don't know who really needs to sell. These investors that are wealthy, they have money, they probably have businesses and other things going on. They might not have the time to go door to door or make a bunch of phone calls and find out, who out there is in some type of financial bind where they need to sell the house quickly for, maybe below market, whatever. The rich investor does not know who you know, all right? If you called everybody you knew, everybody in your network, you might find somebody that needs to sell, all right? That rich investor does not have access to your network of people, all right? And that's why they use people to go find deals. Finding the deal is work, and that's why you're being compensated for it, all right? So and that's why the rich investor guy is not doing it himself, because he's using you more or less to find the deal, and now you guys are splitting the profits in some way or the other. So that's why when you see these commercials of people who are like, hey, do you want to start investing in real estate and doing deals without your own money? That's probably somebody with money telling you to go find me a deal, I'll back you financially, and we'll share the profits in some. And you can invest with no money down of your own at all. But don't be upset when the piece that you get of the profit is much less than everybody else. Let's put some numbers to this. What could this really possibly look like? Okay, so let's just say you're a wholesaler now, or you're a deal finder more or less, right? And you find somebody that needs to sell their house, all right? They know that it needs a little work, or they just want the money quickly. And let's just say, well, they'll take $400,000 for it, all right? What if the market value is kind of closer to $500,000, right? So you got $100,000 of profit or spread you can make on this, right? Well, let's say you need to borrow this $400K, and this investor says, okay, I'll lend you $400K, but I need to make a 20% return on my $400K. All right, 20% of $400K is $80,000. All right, so he takes $80,000, you get the remaining $20,000. All right, still not bad. You didn't have to put up any money, but the guy that put up the $400K definitely made a bigger chunk than you. All right, and that's not always the numbers, but I'm just giving you an example of what that kind of looks like. Like maybe they're willing to take a 10% return on their money. Well, now you get 60 and they only get 40 now, right? So that's a negotiation as well too, but the person with the capital is probably going to have more leverage, right? You have the deal, but they have the money to make it work. Well, maybe that doesn't sound ideal to you. Maybe you feel like, hey, I found the deal, I want a bigger cut. Okay, that's fair, all right? Well, maybe you do a couple deals at the beginning where you're using other people's money, all right? And you make some profit on that, and then you start saving it, and then you put it towards the next deal, and then you do another deal, right? And then you start saving this capital. This is your investment capital now, right? When you could save enough money to get to the point of either putting a down payment for your own investment, or maybe you need to borrow less money. But the whole point is you can get started without your own money, but just know that at some point when you're using other people's money, you're not getting the full benefit, right? Once you start investing your own money, you kind of get the whole pie more or less, right? So it's not a good or bad thing, but I would say, here's the thing, when you make money off investments, it's best to always reinvest it so you have the money work for you, all right? That's what investing is about. Let me tell you how I experience this all the time, okay? As a real estate agent and also as a property owner as well, I get these calls all the time from wholesalers and deal finders and investors, and they always say, hey, I'm looking for something that's a little below market, needs a little bit of work done to it. I need to be able to make this much profit on it when it's done, all right? Can you help me find something like this? And when people call me and they ask me for this, right? Before I used to be like, okay, let me look for you, right? But today, as an investor myself, I'm like, if I found that, I would just do the deal myself, right? So if you want to start investing or doing real estate deals, and you have a really good opportunity or deal, reach out to me, because I could be your investor and I will back you, and let's make some money together, all right? And I'll teach you how to use your profits and roll it into the next one and start building that into your own investment capital. As I'm talking about this topic, I am reminded of one time where somebody reached out to me and said, hey, Jim, you look like you're experienced in working with real estate investments, right? Can I come in and let's do a consultation, right? So I met up with this guy. He was so excited. He had just gone to a seminar and he was ready to do this. He wanted to find deals. He found a hard money lender that will back him. He was excited to go, right? And he wanted me to help him find deals, right? So I asked him, hey, how much did you invest in this class to learn about all this stuff? He told me, I spent $30,000 on this. I put it on a credit card. I'm going all in, all right? This is my dream, all right? The only thing I thought about is, why didn't you just invest $30,000? Why didn't you go spend $30,000 to learn about investing? I mean, there's so much information out here for free, right? Like if you had $30,000 of capital to work with, you can get started on your own already. You don't need to go find a backer. I mean, $30,000 is 20% down on a $150,000 property, right? Like you can start making moves on your own. With my channel here, I'm just giving you information for free, honestly. I'm not trying to sell you a course or anything like that yet. No, but I mean, I'm here to just kind of educate and share information, right? So if you're interested in real estate investment and you saved a little bit of money, right? Like I would much rather see you come talk to me and let's find out what you can do, what options you have as an investor, right? Rather than spending all this capital to learn about doing investments, right? Because you can get started if you have money already. So I hope I saved you some money on this, right? But if you want to go to these seminars, please do it. You'll probably get similar information to this with very passionate speakers that are very motivated, and that's great. If that gives you the motivation to go out and do it, then that's not a bad thing. But if you have money and you have capital and you want to learn about real estate investing, please reach out to me. I would love to work with you and get you started on your real estate portfolio.